Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Forward Momentum. First, I want to draw your attention to this awesome hoodie. Be sure to go check out my merch store. Today's episode is going to be on changing your power steering pump. Now, these power steering pumps are known to leak onto your alternator, which then causes your alternator to fail. So I'm going to put in a newer SC430 power steering pump into my 98 Lexus GS400. When we pull out my old one, we'll take a look and see where it's leaking from. These tend to leak from different places, but we'll look and see where mine is. I can tell that it's leaking from the front seal and from another location that seems kind of odd to me. There's a large grease buildup on it and some puddling down on the splash shield. You need to check out your alternator. You need to make sure that it's not leaking in that alternator, because if that thing goes out, it's gonna leave you stranded most likely. This is what it looks like. It is the same part number as the second gen GS. One thing that I would advise you to do is to try to get this air valve assembly included, because a lot of times they leak from the air valve assembly on your original pump. And what you don't want to have happen is this gets broken on the donor vehicle a lot, and then you would have to switch over your leaky one to this one and it wouldn't even solve your problem. The hoses that come down and feed get extremely brittle. Their location, which is right by this passenger side header down here, so there's a lot of heat. You may want to replace this hose, and there's actually two hoses. You definitely want to do an inspection on those hoses. This one came with the hose attached, and it was actually cut, so they cut it right here. It was impossible to get off. It was so brittle. I had to actually slice it the long way and pry it off with some pliers. So really what you're going to need is a replacement pump. You're going to need to make sure this air valve assembly is present and in good condition. You're going to want to get probably a couple hoses and a quart of ATF. It has to be DEXRON II or 3. You can use the Type 4 that the Lexus dealer recommends. You can use that, which I actually have some of that. And a lot of guys say that that's perfectly fine. The manual says DEXRON II or 3, and that's what this was. It was $7.50 a quart, the cheapest I could find it at AutoZone, which prices are ridiculous. Clear out this area and make sure there's plenty of room in here to start working. This is the power steering pump right here. Get the lines out of the way, the reservoir moved over, and now this is where you're going to inspect. This line is hard as a rock, and that's going to be a problem because I don't have the spare ordered, but luckily I'm in no rush. I can order the spare line and continue working on this. Have a look at your new pump and see how it sits in there, and that will tell you how to get access to the bolts. So it'll be sitting about like that, and you can see that there's going to be a couple bolts going that way. And most of you guys don't have a lift like I do. Access from underneath the vehicle is going to be a little bit tighter than, say, for me, where I can get it up on this lift here. That being said, I always like to look and see with the replacement pump where the fasteners are going to be. And just by looking at this, I can tell that we're going to have one that goes through here and goes in here, and then we're going to have a couple back here. Aside from that, it's just two lines that go to this, the line that goes to this, and the line that goes to this. So a lot of people use a turkey baster or similar to suck the fluid out. You can actually carefully bend this, and you can see how it would spill out, and put a container in here and dump it into the container. But you don't want to snap these plastic fittings right here that come off of the reservoir. Oh, that's dirty. I'm gonna let it drain. A little container down there. I'm just gonna get this belt out of the way so we can work on this thing. Screwdriver wedged in there, and then I've got a 17 mil on the nut, and I'm gonna bang it with this hammer right here and see if I can get it loose. So just take a rubber mallet and bang on it like this, gently, and then pull at the same time, and it comes right off. 14 millimeter, I've got the socket on there, 1/2 inch ratchet on it. There it is. The two bolts that we're trying to get to are right here and right here. with a long extension, I think, and moving this right here, I might be able to get to it. We're gonna be working around the alternator. I think I have a way to not remove the alternator. However, it will require the ratchet extension coming very close to that alternator. Okay, there you have it. It is on the 14 that's up there, but that's the hardest one. And it's pushing down pretty hard on the connector of the alternator, but it still will work. And then now I just have to get a tool in here. Oh, that worked. You can't see it, but I can tell you that it's spinning. There we go. Right there. These are both 14 mil and they are both bolts. When I get this back up on there, that's gonna be a lot of fun trying to line those holes. Look how dirty this old fluid is. Oh man, that's bad. Make sure you unlock your steering wheel and then you can come over here on the side of your wheel and turn it to one side. I'm gonna go ahead and try to turn it back to the other. And you can see how it comes out of that return line. So if it's easier for you to do it at the steering wheel, just go ahead and do it at the steering wheel. You want to continue to do that until it stops flowing out of that. The low pressure line clamp is right here, and it goes back and around to the rack on this hard line. But you'll take that off right there. And then next, these are the air control valve vacuum lines. And so those can be disconnected with those clamps right there. So what I'll do now is undo this clamp and see if I can pry this hose away from this hard line a little bit and let it drain right here into my little drain dolly. Okay, get a hold of that clamp and you can bring it down the hard line. That's probably an easier way to do it, and let it dangle there. And now work on getting that hose pried away. Let's see if I turn this wheel back and forth, what happens. It's my garage creaking. Just going back and forth with the wheel. All right, that is a 17 millimeter. Oh, that's not bad at all. No fluid. Radiator hose, and there's your pump. Okay, now you want to strip off parts that you need. These vacuum lines, get those off. I'm actually gonna do a vacuum line delete. I don't use them, and they're annoying. They take up space. So I'm gonna keep these, of course, just in case someday I want to use them. But on the new pump, I'm going to cap these off. So in case you needed proof that you can remove your power steering pump and leave your alternator in place, here's your proof. Pulled the power steering pump out, left the alternator completely bolted in, didn't change anything. This is the connector that I was struggling with a little bit right here when I had my extensions going up to those 2 bolts that were holding it to the block. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I also do not like this cam cover here. I don't need these. I don't like the cam cover because it's thrashed, so I'm gonna actually paint the same color as my calipers. This episode is not about that, so I'm not gonna go through all of that process. I might do a separate episode on that. All right, that worked. Just had to hold the impact gun on it for a minute. My favorite trick is to bang on it with a rubber mallet while pulling, and it slowly will make its way off of there. Put this on a light torque value, but the torque value is 32 foot-pounds. And then I'll put the screwdriver through and do a torque right there. Well, after breaking off those 2 things, I figured, hey, if I'm gonna plug it anyway, let's just use some screws. Here's your reservoir, and it's a great time to clean this thing up. Look inside your reservoir, and it's not going to show up on this particular camera, but if you look in there, there is a screen down in there, and you want to make sure that that screen is clear, but you want to make sure it's not clogged because that can cause a lot of issues with your power steering pump. I'm not sure how much effort and time I want to spend on it. I took a macro shot of it so you can see. So you need to do a close inspection of that screen and make sure yours is not clogged. Get it on the stud. Next we'll get under the car and we'll line those two pesky ones up to the block with the extensions. You can see one of the holes, I suppose, and the second one is kind of visible. Get your hand up in there, get it threaded, and then you can put your extensions through and get it tightened up. There we go. And I'm using a swivel up there. Finally got smart. 3/8 swivel. 29 foot-pounds times 2. Also, make sure your alternator connector cover is on. It's gonna be oily most likely. I'm gonna clean up that oil and then slip it back over that post. 2mm nut, which goes behind the pulley. Always one. Get a couple hands in here, run it on it, and then spin it on by hand. We'll use a little pulley window to see if we can torque it to 29 foot-pounds. I got an extension on that. I'm spinning it on by hand, then we'll get the torque wrench in there. Okay, it's tight now. Bring that torque wrench into place. 29 foot-pounds. I'm gonna reuse my old one. Couple washers on it, one on the back and one on the front. I've got this on a very low setting. Make sure everything's centered in there. 36 foot-pounds. That's about as clean as I'm gonna get it. I wish it was white in color, but 25 years of use, that's what you get. This came out real nice. You can see that the residual of some of the stuff that came out of this reservoir. Once you get your hose put on the reservoir, you can then clock it and get it lined up with your pump. Just want to make sure these hoses aren't rubbing on anything weird. This one still needs to be connected, the smaller one. Of course, these clamps need to be engaged. Next, I'm going to connect this line from the reservoir, and the clamp is down here, so I'll just bring it up and around. It's all hooked up right there where my finger is. No open lines. I feel like I got out most of the fluid out of the system. Going to put ATF DEXRON in here. I'm going to let it sit in there, and I'm going to be turning these wheels back and forth like I was before to get the fluid primed into the system and into the pump. Because remember, this is a suction hose right here. And the only way really you're going to generate suction is when the pump is running. After you start the car, keep a really, really close eye on it and make sure it's fed. Look at that fluid level drop. That's why you got to keep an eye on it. Turn the wheels again. So just keep doing that until it no longer goes down in the system. Okay, full lock right. Okay, let it sit overnight. You don't have to do that, but I did. One more turn here and see if anything happens inside the reservoir, going full left and all the way back full right. And let's watch the level and see where it drops. Pretty good. Leave your fresh air duct off if you have one, so you can see the pump easily, and especially watch for the high pressure line going in and any leaks coming out of that. Well, I'm gonna start the car. I'm gonna watch this fluid as it runs. It should drop down a little bit once it starts up. I'll fill it. I will crank the wheel all the way to the right, and don't hold it there too long because that's bad for your pump. And then we'll watch the fluid level. So we'll keep kind of repeating that process as we go. Double check, make sure everything's clear. All tools are picked up, all clamps are on, belts on, and then I gotta reconnect the battery and we'll fire it up. that's it, guys. As you can see, the car is running great. One of the top questions I've been getting is the SC430 power steering pump better than my old 98 GS400 power steering pump? The answer would be not in performance, but in age and wear. Generally speaking, you're gonna find stuff from an SC430 that's a lot newer and with a lot less miles. So this pump had 100,000 less miles on it than my old pump. It performs as it should. I'm looking forward to the next 100,000 miles with this particular pump. If you're looking for a preventative maintenance item that helps keep your alternator protected, pick up an SC430 pump as new as you can with as low miles as you can. You should be good to go. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, drop a like and a comment, and I'll see you on the next episode.